We'll call this Property Standards Committee meeting for July 25th to order, please. Before we start, I do want to, the land in which we begin to acknowledge that the land in which we gather is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Waki, Ottawa, and Mississauga peoples. So a confirmation of the agenda that the Township of North Huron Property Standards Committee accept the agenda for July 25th Property Standards Committee meeting as presented. Do I have a mover? I've got Member Faulkner moving that. I got Member Van Henderson seconding. All those in favor? Carried. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest? None noted. So moving on to number 4, which is 4.1, property standards matter for property 3991 Belgrave Road, concession 8, part north, part lot 42, East Wonosh Ward, owned by Ranko Markovic. So the purpose of the Property Standards Committee meeting is to consider the appeal filed by Ranko Markovic, owner of 39991 Belgrave Road in Belgrave. Mr. Markovic is appealing a property standards order that was issued on June the 7th and is included in your agenda package. So, Mr. Markovic, if you are here, you can come up to the podium and present your evidence, please.
Can he do it at the lower mic?
He can do that if he would, if he wishes.
At the lower mic, if you want. Use that mic or you want this one. It's up to you. Okay.
I don't see any testimony on the agenda. Are you going to modify the agenda?
What would you like me to modify it for?
Well, the agenda says that appeal is attached to the package. What is attached is a notice of appeal, not the appeal. There is no item for anyone testifying.
Well, 4.3 is the appeal, is your appeal, whether it be verbal or
It
written.
says page 6. If you look on page 6, it's notice of appeal. This is supposed to be a hearing,
And we are giving,
not on the agenda.
the agenda 4.3 is the appeal. So it's whether verbal or provided documentation.
4.3 is page 6, according to the agenda. That's already included.
Yes?
There's nothing to be added to it.
If you prefer not to provide any more evidence, we'll take the notice. That's it. That's your choice.
Well, I still have to object to this unlawful committee.
If that is your appeal, if that's your evidence, then the committee will take that as evidence. But that's
This is
it.
my evidence. So this is a hearing now?
It's been a hearing since it was called order.
Nope. Section 15.3, subsection 4 of the Building Code Act states that the municipality may appeal to the Superior Court of Justice if they're not satisfied with the decision of the Property Standards Committee. So, can you imagine any situation where you would appeal your own decision? You're the council, you're a member of council,
This is,
the whole council.
yes.
So you
Mr.
can imagine a
Markovic,
situation where you would appeal your own decision?
Mr. Markovic, I will tell you, it is your time to talk, it's not a back and forth. So you provide your evidence, then we as the Property Standards Committee will discuss the evidence that you have provided. That's how this is going to work. It's not going to be a back and forth. Okay?
Okay. Section 15.1, subsection 1, says in sections 15.1 to 15.8 inclusive, repair includes the provision of facilities, the making of additions or alterations, or the taking of any other action that may be required to ensure that the property conforms with the property standards established in the bylaw passed under this section. The order issued by the CBO says order to remedy. Order to remedy may be issued under section 15.9, not section 15.2. Section 15.2 talks about repairs, not remedies. Section 15.2.2 that the order claims to be issued under does not exist in the Building Code Act. So how can an order be issued under non-existent law? And that's not the first time. Does this council still think that the rules of law don't apply to them? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the staff report from Nancy Small, the Chief Building Official and Bylaw Enforcement Officer. I think you just have to hit the on button at the top of the mic.
Or you can come up to the,
Thank you. Through you, Chair, to committee, I'm here to present you with my report regarding a property standards matter located at 39991 Belgrave Road. The property in question is in violation of the municipality's property standards bylaw number 22-2013. The violations included, but are not limited to, rubbish, debris, building materials, machinery, and an unlicensed trailer. An inspection was completed on June the 3rd, 2022. An order to remedy was sent to the owner on June the 7th, 2022, with a compliance date of July the 4th, 2022. The attached photo was taken on June the 3rd, 2022. A re-inspection took place on July 22nd, 2022, and found that the owner to date has not made any efforts to comply with the order. In my report, I have provided 4 options for your consideration: confirm the order, modify the order, rescind the order, or extend the time for complying with the order. Thank you.
Okay, is there any questions questions or comments by the members of the committee? To either the chief building official, or I will allow to the property owner as well? Committee member Palmer.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. To you, Nancy. The homeowner cited section 15.
Yes.
Was that relevant information? Like, is it something that
I
we
would
should know
have to
about?
confirm that. I did check my current building code act, and everything was in order, so I would have to double check. I don't have one with me.
I have a copy, Trevor.
The clerk does have a copy of the building code here, if she would wish to provide it.
I'll just read it.
Okay,
Yep. Section 15.2, subsection 2 says an officer who finds a property does not conform with any of the standards prescribed in a bylaw passed under section 15.1 may make an order.
sorry. Committee member Faulkner.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Is there any, in noncompliance order, if we chose to confirm the order, does it carry any additional conditions or fines or tacked on top, or is there any penalty for noncompliance? What is the ultimate, is the property cleaned up by others and the bill is
I think
passed on to, or what is the outcome of us confirming an order?
I believe we would go in and clean up and then put it on the taxes.
Okay. But there's no additional charge to
Not that I'm aware of.
failing an appeal?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Sorry? Yes.
Yeah, just a comment. I live in Belgrave too, so I follow, or no, I go past Mr. Rankhill's place, and I see that he has made an attempt to cover. He put a small cover all up, and of course put a lot of the better lawnmowers, I'm assuming, inside. So he has done that, if that amounts to anything. Yes, there's still, I'd say, machines at the back that probably, I'm not sure if they have value or not, only he would know. So I just wanted to have members know that he did make an attempt.
Okay, yes, Committee member Bailey.
Thank you. Can somebody tell me how long this has been going on? I know we've just finally issued an order, but I do believe on my term of council years ago, this was an issue then. Can somebody tell me how long that we've been trying to get this cleaned up?
November 2019, I believe,
November of 2019.
yes.
And has it gotten better since November of 2019, or there's more? Or we just don't know?
I don't know. I've been here since March of this year, and I have not seen a change since the initial complaint. Not the initial complaint, but, sorry, the complaint that I received this year.
One last question. When our bylaw officer's been out there, is he ever given a reason why he can't clean it up or anything like that? Like, is there anything in writing why he cannot clean this up? Obviously, it does violate our bylaws.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the property standards, or for the chief building official? Or the property owner? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so in your, there is a motion, but we need direction.
Where Where's my opportunity to
Miss-
cross-examine the witness?
Mr. Ronco, you had your opportunity. It was under the time where I had asked you to present your evidence. There's no cross-examination. This is not a court.
Really?
That is correct.
You might want to look at the section 15.3 appeal.
You have an opportunity after the decision is made by this committee to appeal to the Superior Court if you choose. That's your choice, but there's no there's no cross-examination of the committee.
And what about section 15.3, subsection 3? The committee shall hear the appeal.
We heard the appeal.
No.
Yeah, you gave us your appeal. Whether you wanted to accept that or not, we asked you for your evidence to determine whether you would be able to, in case, why you were appealing. You chose to provide sections, and that's it. So, moving on. So the staff, we need to provide an option. So I'm looking for somebody to provide an option, whether we're going to confirm the order, we're going to modify the order, we're going to rescind the order, or extend some time for the compliance. That's the section, that's the part we need to add in to give direction. Yes, Committee Member Faulkner.
Through you, Chair. I would bring forward the motion to confirm the order for consideration for a vote.
Okay, so I've got that the Township of North Huron Property Standards Committee hereby receives a report prepared by Nancy Small, CBO Bylaw Enforcement Officer for the Township of North Huron dated July 25th for information, and further that the Township of North Huron Property Standards Committee hereby receives the appeal filed by Ronco Markovic, owner of 3991 Belgrave Road, Belgrave, Ontario, regarding a property standards order dated June the 7th, 2022. And further that the Township of North Huron Property Standards Committee hereby approves option 1, confirm the order, to the property standards order issued on June the 7th by the Township's CBO Bylaw Enforcement Officer, and further that the appellant be notified of the committee's decision. And I've got Committee Member Faulkner moving that. Do I have a member seconding that? Member Bailey is seconding it. Is there any other questions or comments? Councilor McBurney, or Member McBurney?
That option's option A, not 1.
Or, sorry, it's option A in the
Yes.
report? Sorry, yes, okay, sorry, my apologies. So that's, that option A,
Option A, we'll confirm that change. And
okay, so, and seconder was,
I'm fine with that, too.
okay. Any other questions or comments, Councilor, or Committee Member Palmer?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just curious as to how the next step would go if we agreed with this. Like you said, you go in and clean up, but at what point, like what, I need to know what the procedure is, right from, make it easy, please.
Basically, we would have a company come in and clean up and dispose of, or not dispose of necessarily, but clean up the debris and the rubbish and the building materials.
What about the value in any of the mowers that are there? Like, does the homeowner have a choice of, well, I'm wanting to keep this one and this one and this one?
Well, he has the option of complying with the order.
So this other happens after, if there's a non-compliance, then
That's right.
it's a little bit of time, I imagine.
Okay.
Just trying to locate here. So, under the bylaw, just to answer your question, Member Palmer, under the bylaw under the property standards bylaw 22/2013, where it says non-compliance, where a person fails to comply with the order, the municipality may cause the required work to be done at the cost of the person. The cost of such work may be recovered by action by adding the cost of the tax roll and collecting them in the same manner as property taxes. So it doesn't specifically specify how we go in or what, that's not us, that's not this committee. But to answer your question, that's what will be done based on to conform with the bylaw. And property standards, or the bylaw enforcement officer has that based on the bylaw that we've approved.
Okay, so she'll work it out then?
That's correct. That's a staff function, not a committee function. Okay, so I have a mover, I have a seconder. All those in favor of that motion? Carried. So obviously the decision of the committee was to confirm the order set forth by the CBO dated on June the 7th. And just to reiterate, so the Building Code Act states that any owner or occupant or person affected by a decision made by the committee may appeal to the Superior Court of Justice by notifying the clerk of the municipality in writing and applying to the court within 14 days after a copy of the decision is sent. Okay? So number 5, no further business, that the Property Standards Committee agree that there are no further business before this committee. The meeting hereby adjourns at 5:25. Do I have a mover? Member Faulkner moves. I got Member McBurney seconding. All those in favor? Carried. We will take a short recess until council meeting at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much, committee.